Hello, it's Burbo. Okay, so I've been meaning to make this video for a couple of days. So, as most of my followers know, I'm very much into individuality. I cannot abide homogenous, generic clothing. People feel they have to conform in the way that they dress and the way that they present themselves. That is my thing. I really feel that our individuality and the way that we present ourselves to the world is so important and so personal. I was really intrigued at the latest furore about Angela Raynor'S shoes. There was all this stuff in the press and the media about Angela Rayner meeting with the king and going on a walkabout in a pair of brothel creepers. And people were saying, well, is it suitable? Is it de rigueur to wear that kind of footwear when you're meeting the king and you're on official business, official duties, that kind of thing? But I don't talk about politics anymore on social media. I came off Facebook because of that, because I think that people in this country are so politically naive that I just couldn't bear it anymore. So I took myself out of that whole scenario. However, I don't see why Angela Rayner wearing those shoes has any reflection whatsoever on her ability to do her job. Now, whether she's doing her job or not is another question, another matter. But why do we base our opinion of someone's professional capabilities on what they wear? I don't care what she's wearing. I care what she's doing. And the same goes for all this kind of pearl clutching about politicians and people in business and their personal lives. People's personal lives are exactly that. They're personal. I'm sure anybody who works in a big office or a big organization wouldn't even have the slightest idea what their colleagues like, what their colleagues prefer, what their colleagues do in their spare time or in the privacy of their own homes. I don't see why politicians are held to some fake moral standard. And I don't see why politicians and people in public life are held to some fake aesthetic standard. And I know that this will probably be controversial, but I also have the same feelings about the whole kind of identity politics argument. Our identity should be what we do. It should always be more important what we do than what we are. And that might sound really surprising from somebody who dresses people, who designs for people, and who styles people for a living, because people would make the assumption that I think that the outer casing of what we wear, what we look like, is the be all and end all. And that's not true. It's just cloth. It's just fabric. Our ethics and our morals and our work ethic is far more important. And our aims and our goals are far more important than what we identify as. Leave Angela Rayner alone, even though I could wag my finger at her and the whole of the Labour Party, but that's a whole other subject. Leave people alone for their personal choices, their personal lives, their personal home lives, and just let people do their job. Let people be judged on what they do, on what they achieve, on what they aspire to, rather than what they look like or what is the outer casing. So that might sound contradictory in terms of I'm saying that people should be as individual as possible for themselves and present themselves in an individual way to the world, but that clothes and accessories and the way we present ourselves doesn't really matter. It's what we do. But I find the correlation is when you concentrate on what you want to do and concentrate on your goals and your objectives and your dreams, you will find that the generic and the homogeny will fall away. Have you ever met somebody who looks really unusual and people sort of go, oh, well, you know, they're a bit eccentric, whatever. The reason they're eccentric, the reason that they don't look like everybody else is because they don't think like everybody else, because they're so wrapped up in what they're doing and what their goals are and what they want to achieve. So they have no concept of how the outside world views them. I mean, people look at me and they know that I do something creative. They know straight away that I'm a creative person. I probably do something creative professionally because of the way that I present myself. But I don't present myself. I just put on what I want to put on. And I look how I want to look. I literally, what other people might think, what other people might say, is literally the last thing on my mind. You will find that other people who maybe look a bit out of the ordinary, who don't work in the creative industries, they are so immersed in what they're doing and what they want to achieve and what their purpose is that they have no concept of how the rest of the world sees them. I don't consider myself an eccentric. I've always thought that eccentric people don't know they're eccentric because they're so unself-aware. They're completely devoid of how the rest of the world sees them. That's what makes them eccentric. So let me know your thoughts in the comment box. If you think I'm just ranting, or if you think I'm some kind of idiot for not aligning myself with identity politics or whatever. You know, I'm full of peace, I'm full of love, and I just want people to be themselves, and I just want people to do what they want to do. End of rant. Thanks for watching.